This video is part 2 of the channeled messages I received from the Blue Avians of Series B. So in the first part, if you haven't seen that yet, I definitely recommend watching that before continuing with this video. Because in part 1, I talk about the 7 ages of Earth and the correspondences to the beings that lived during those eras. And in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about the Golden Children, the Rainbow Children, the Diamond Children specifically, but also other types of children that are coming through during this time that are related to bringing in, the vibrations for the next age. So I'm also going to talk about how we can connect with these energies and help transform our frequencies, our own, or as our own energy bodies. So we don't have to be, at this point in time, golden children or, crystal children or diamond children, rainbow children. We can actually reach that frequency by putting in the work, by raising our vibration through different types of healing, both shadow and light healing alike, and activation within our energy bodies. So I'm going to get into that a little later in the video, but first I'm going to jump into these children. Who are these children? Where do they come from? What is their purpose? And when are they coming? How are they coming? What types of families are they choosing? And then, like I said, at the end of the video, I will talk about how we also can reach these frequencies. I want to first say that there's really a misconception that all of these children are celestials. That's not necessarily true. In fact, the golden children, many of them are actually reincarnations from the golden age of Mu on Earth. Now, they may or may not have been in the celestial realm, but many of them came from that time period. They incarnated in that time period, dealing with the golden children specifically. The rainbow children are often ascended masters, so they're not even considered part of this universe anymore. They've broken their wheel. They're coming back down here to help and to assist. And the diamond children are at a particular level of consciousness that goes beyond reflection and goes into projection. They are more solid in their sense of purpose and their sense of morality, their character, things of that nature. And they're really more of a new type of consciousness, okay? They're what happens when carbon becomes diamond in the consciousness. They're not necessarily star seeds or celestials, but most of them are. Or at least they've spent time in the celestial realm. But again, it doesn't have to be the case. So I wanted to kind of make that clear because I feel like there's a misconception where people think that these types of children are actually all star seeds, and that's not necessarily the case. I want to go ahead and go into the different traits of these children, okay, and why they're coming, and the specific types of purposes that they'll have. So I want to start again because I already mentioned them. I want to start with the golden children. Now, the golden children primarily are souls that are part of the gold ray. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they're solar beings, or they're soul stars that are specifically, their origin point is from the golden ray. They mostly incarnated during the golden age of Mu. They carry that frequency, they carry that genetic memory of unity within them. Golden children are about unity consciousness. They are about bringing people back into connection with themselves, and that connection by going within to the all or source. They see themselves a part of that. They see themselves as an extension of everything. Now, one thing that's kind of different about the golden children is they can take on more of a warrior type bent or a teacher bent. So they're not really necessarily the type of children to sit in the sidelines or to necessarily bring change quietly in that regard. They are more active. They generally have connection to or DNA resonance connecting them back to either the Neteru of Egypt or the Anunnaki god kings also. So the god kings of either Egypt or of Sumeria. They also, connect back to Nibiru's at some level. They don't have to be from the stars. And like I said, many of them are actually golden ray. So they're not, primordials. They're of the light. But one thing is interesting I want to mention. a lot of primordials are going to be having golden children, because out of the dark primordial womb comes the light. Primordials give birth to stars. They give birth to suns. So it will be very common for those on Earth who are primordials to have golden children. The golden children need to be in sun, and most of them are going to be melanated, okay? And what I mean by melanated is most of them are going to have dark skin, or they're going to come from a so-called black or Negro background, or at least mixed with that. And they're going to need lots of sunlight. Many of them are not going to feel like they need to eat meat. Some of them may not even feel like they want to eat food. A lot of them will be very physically active and seem to have a lot of energy just getting it from the sun. So they may be the kind of kids that they want to be outside all the time. They might want to be very active, but still, you know, keep to themselves to a degree and have like a very like powerful connection to nature and themselves and their bodies. Even when a woman is pregnant with a golden child, she may actually feel the need to go out into the sun more. She may struggle with vitamin D deficiency, so she may really feel like she doesn't want to eat as much. She may actually feel like her baby might even be charging her up a little bit when she gets sun. Like, in other words, she might even get bouts where she actually has more energy, which is, you know, uncommon for pregnant women. But then if she doesn't get in the sun enough, or if she eats heavy foods, like heavy, fatty, sugary, or meaty foods, then she's going to feel more lethargic. Another thing that might happen is for women who are giving birth to golden children, as they might be visited by the Egyptian gods or by the Anunnaki, either one or both. They may start receiving telepathic connections and messages from their children when they're in the womb or before they're in the womb. They might dream of them as astral babies or coming into the womb. They're going to really have a close connection with their children. And that is going to go, I feel like the telepathy is really across the board with these new seeds coming in, these rainbow and golden and diamond children. Another thing I want to mention about the golden children is that these children will have sort of a glow about them. I mean, all of these children will, but you might even be able to see golden light around them visibly, and it's definitely going to be in their aura. And when a woman is pregnant with a golden child, her aura itself may look gold, or she may have a gold halo around her head. So I want to move on to rainbow children. Now, rainbow children are interesting. They're a little more imaginative. They are, again, they are ascended masters. So they've broken their wheel. So they're very advanced souls in that regard. And they are going to come in with all of their memories, whether they talk about it with you or not. But they may be the kind of kids where they first come in, they start talking about, you know, past lives that they've had. And they may come in just knowing what they're supposed to do. Now, all of these children are going to come in with certain gifts. And I forgot to mention about the golden children. They'll come in with memories probably of Mu or the golden ray, the 12D golden ray realm, okay, in whatever constellation it's in or whatever realm it's in. And they will probably have like very strong intelligence. Some of them may have telepathy or telekinesis, especially when they're out in the sun a lot. And some of them may have certain, like some of them may display super strength, for example. And I know this may sound a little outrageous or like out of a Marvel comic book, but there are more and more kids that are displaying, they're coming in locked and loaded, and they're displaying these spiritual gifts that their parents just don't have. You know, I've seen videos of kids, you know, doing telekinesis like it's nothing. So instead of having to practice years and years and years to perfect these types of gifts, they're coming in locked and loaded is what I mean. Now, so as far as the rainbow children are going to have access to different realms. They're going to have wisdom. They're going to be able to just see into the soul of a person, especially through their eyes, be able to give them advice. They're going to be very like balanced in their emotions. Not much is going to get to them, okay? They're going to be probably quiet, and if they are outgoing, it's going to be very positive, very selective, and very upbeat. It's not going to be something where they're just out, expending a bunch of energy dealing with a lot of different people, they're going to come out, they're going to go out to say something specific to help somebody, to elevate in some way and then retreat. They will tend to have rainbow aura around them. And the mother may have a rainbow aura around her or a rainbow halo when she's pregnant. The rainbow children, what will distinguish them most with the other seeds is going to be their wisdom that they have as far as they're more concerned about how to get people to really love one another, and also not only love one another, but come to be more connected to source, to the all. They're going to be more imaginative, sensitive. Some of them may be artists. Even when the woman is pregnant with the rainbow child, she may just be kind of drawn to putting a lot of rainbow colors in the bedroom, for example, or decorating with unicorns, crystals. That's another thing rainbow children will be good at, is doing crystal work as well. They may also have the ability, telepathy, and telekinesis as well, like the golden children. But they're not really going to be demonstrating a bunch of gifts or anything like that. It's more so that they came with those because they already broke their wheel and were completely ascended masters. So they're coming more so to teach other people how to reach the point that they already reached. So a lot of them are going to be teachers of ascension, and they're going to elevate with their energy. And they're going to be calm and balanced and very demonstrative. So even if they don't teach verbally, they'll teach with example. The golden children are more so warriors and teachers and leaders. But the rainbow children, I would liken more to like a guru. They're going to be more in that type of energy. And they might even teach quietly through artistic expression as well. Now, the diamond children are interesting because this is really a new energy. This is a new breed. These souls are new. And if they're not new, they're souls that put in a lot of work to alter their consciousness from carbon to diamond. So they're in diamond consciousness, which is a very solidified, clear, clarity-centered energy. It's unbreakable. It's like once they reach that, like no one can detour them. Nobody can manipulate them. Nobody can lie to them. And they know exactly what they're supposed to do. They know exactly how to do it. It's kind of like with all of these children, the parents are going to feel like sometimes they're the children or they're being taught by their children. But this is especially the case with the diamond kids because there's not much that they can learn. Now, it's with all of them really, because again, like I said, the rainbows are ascended masters, the goldens are, god kings. These are high-ranking souls, but with the diamonds, it's just like you're not going to budge them on anything because they already see in that 360-degree scope. Because that's what that consciousness is like. They can see clearly in all directions. They're not the type to fall for false paradigms. They're not the type to get caught up in groups or organizations. They're very solid. They're very immovable. Now, the downside of that, and I'm going to go into kind of the downside of all of these types of children energies in a second. Starting with this one, the downside to that is that with the diamond children, they can be a little stubborn and difficult to reason with when you are trying to teach them, especially when they're children and the parents are adults. And they might find it the hardest to adapt in any kind of public school setting while they're being raised. I feel like all of these children are better off homeschooled, honestly. And they're all going to have the wisdom to know that, to be able to maintain their own identity. But, the diamond children, I feel, are going to have the hardest time sort of dealing with the system at this level. Another thing is with the diamond children, the mother might have, like a white glowing, aura, or very like almost clear, piercing, aura or halo around her. So just like with the rainbow and the golden child, There may not be a desire to eat meat, maybe a desire to eat less. This particular child is going to benefit the most from using crystals, even more so than the rainbow child, specifically dealing with like clear quartz, Herkimer diamond, diamond itself as well. Whereas a rainbow child, it would be more like, peacock ore and fluorite, things of that nature. And the solar child, the golden child, is going to be benefiting more from gold. And if there's no gold, then they would also benefit from, citrine as well, or sunstone. Back to what I was saying about the diamond children. The diamond children are going to be very high level light workers and energy healers, working with actual, working with the consciousness at that level, at an energetic healing, scientific type level. That we have the golden children are like the leaders and the warriors. The rainbow children are the gurus and the artists. Then we have the diamond children, would be like akin to like the healers and the magicians. So that's how I would explain it. They just, and scientists also, just have this ability to just use and tap into light grids and sacred geometric shapes and frequencies and waves and electromagnetic fields, and they're just very good at that. While a woman is pregnant with a diamond child, she may feel herself becoming a little more rigid than usual, but she may feel her whole perception changing. She may have an increase of discernment when dealing with other people. She may get a lot of claircognizant truths that just come to her mind. She may feel herself being physically stronger and feel more stable. And I want to actually go back to that as well, of how these things will affect the mother a little bit with the rainbow. Rainbow children can be high energy, like all of these children are high energy, and if the mother is not in good health, it can sometimes wear her down, especially if she might be a little overweight or have health problems. But in a general sense, the baby and the energy of that baby will help elevate and trigger healing and a higher energy in these mommies. Okay, so I do want to mention that. But with the rainbow children, there could be a lot of communication with ascended masters and angels. And with the diamond children, a lot of communication with high dimensional beings, from other realities and dimensions that vibrate on a very high frequency. And for the golden children, communication with the Neteru or the Anunnaki. So I just wanted to cover that real quick. Now, how do we reach these energies ourselves? Well, for the golden energy, really spend a lot of time in sun. Solar gazing, sun bathing, wearing gold, taking monatomic gold, doing yoga outside in the sunlight, doing, Tai Chi or Qigong outside in the sunlight, working a lot with the solar plexus and the soul star chakras, but all the chakras, or I should say chakras, because that's actually the proper pronunciation. Rainbow, that comes when you actually have a Kundalini awakening and all of your main 7 chakra points are all aligned and open. You radiate this rainbow color in your aura, okay? That's a true rainbow. It will literally look like a rainbow radiating through that person's aura. That can look like shifting colors, or it can literally look like rainbow rays sort of poking out. The only people that I've seen have this either come in who have been Kundalini awakened in a past life, or an ascended master, and or they have had a Kundalini awakening in this lifetime. And so usually when it first happens, it looks like that. So those are the times when you see a rainbow aura. So if you want to get to rainbow consciousness, that really is done through Kundalini awakening and the activation of this, 1,000-petaled lotus, which looks like a rainbow. It looks like a white light with a rainbow shooting out of it. So that's really how you do that. And the best way for Kundalini awakening, honestly, guys, is yoga, chakra work. Reiki or other energy healing opens up those channels too, makes it easier for those meridians to have the energy flow. Priyas as well, things of that nature. Shadow work is also good to do with anything whenever you're trying to help heal and elevate your energy. But yeah, those can help inspire a Kundalini awakening, and that's how you get like the rainbow frequency, okay, or rainbow aura. For diamond, this one is the most challenging. So I want to briefly kind of talk about crystal. A lot of people who are on the ascended path are going into crystal consciousness right now. In fact, a lot of people on the ascended path are. Now, what crystal consciousness is, what the Blue Avians explained to me, is it's reflection. It's the consciousness of reflecting out and reflecting to others what is unhealed in them, and reflecting to them who they are, so that they can both heal and work on it, but also see who they are in the sense of it makes them, feel more accepted and appreciated that way as well, but also lets them see themselves for who they are all around. People that are crystals don't tend to have an aura color of their own. They just match whoever's around them because they're reflectors. Usually these people will have, like, if I don't know if those of you are familiar with human design, but they might be actual reflectors in human design as well, where their auras literally come off looking white because they're reflecting. They're not projecting any kind of energy or color. They're reflecting. They're reflecting energy back. So it kind of looks like a mirror with a light shown on it, right? So if you want diamond consciousness, crystal consciousness is kind of on the way there. But it's really the carbon going to diamond. So in my personal opinion, diamond consciousness is where all people that are human are really headed if they're on the awakening path. And I'm talking earth seeds here, but also anyone that's incarnated in human bodies on the ancestral path may become diamond consciousness, because we are right now carbon beings. And when carbon becomes diamond, then that is the refinement. That is the highest we can achieve, at that energetic level. So the best way to do that is just to work on a self-acceptance, integration of light and shadow, shedding paradigms that are false that we hold on to just for comfort or to support the ego. And there's nothing wrong with the ego. We need the ego. But when we create paradigms to sort of support us, and we know they're not really real, but they're sort of like a crutch, like some sort of institution, then if you want to reach diamond consciousness, you kind of have to let that fall away and break away, because diamond consciousness is rooted in truth and of the all, and that clarity of just radiating. They're not reflecting like crystals, they're radiating, eternal truth, divine truth. They're radiating divine love and security. And I don't mean security like in a weird stoic thing, but I just mean like they're very grounded in who they are, but yet they're not tied to anything, if that makes sense. Check out my website, thetantricdragoness.com, to book a private akashic reading or any other reading. Also, akashic portraits, consultations, shamanic journeys, starseed charts, primordial dragon fire healing, and much more. You can also subscribe to Patreon to learn how to do a lot of this yourself. There are various templates I've designed. Activate Diamond Consciousness, Activate the Black Flame, Journey the Underworld, Tantric Healing and BDSM, Astral Projection and Power, Shields, Cloaks, Wards, Learning Light Language, Exclusive and Premiere Readings, Soul Fragment Retrieval, Advanced Ancestral Work, Creating Your Own Shamanic Sanctuary, and much more. Thanks for your support, and stay tuned for future videos.